Hi, it's Tara. Thanks for joining me. So the projects I'm going to be creating are going to be able to be done with pretty much any cutting machine. I only have experience with Cricut, however, I'm sure all the other cutting machines that take this size of vinyl will work just perfectly. And if you have a Cricut Joy, you can always cut down your material size to fit on the Cricut Joy mat, and then you can create a lot of these projects as well. Today I'm going to be using MerryMade's heat transfer vinyl. Heat transfer vinyl that is glow in the dark. I have several projects to inspire you. This is 12 inches wide by 5 feet in length. So you're really getting a lot of product. The color is white and then it's gonna glow green. So we're gonna make a few projects using this material. So stay tuned. They sent me this product at no cost to me. However, if you're interested and you want to check this out, I will try and leave a link in the description. Okay, so I'm gonna use the MerryMade mat. I'm gonna throw that right onto my Cricut Maker 3. So I have this cute little trick or treat design. All of the designs that I have, I actually found in Cricut Design Space. So I think that looks pretty good. Make sure it's not too crooked. And then I'm gonna pop it in and do just a few seconds because I have lots of layers on this one. And I'm gonna keep my press pillow inside. And I'm gonna put the Teflon sheet over the top. Now the thing that I've noticed about my HTVRONT press is a lot of times my Teflon sheet will stick to the top there, so I like to make sure that part of it's sticking out. Okay, so I'm going to only do just a few seconds of this, maybe 8 seconds. That was about 7 seconds. Okay, so see my Teflon sheet kind of stuck back in there. As long as this sticks down enough, I'm gonna peel this layer off and then set the next layer down. Okay, so it adhered nicely. Okay, so this one is going to have a little pumpkin in the middle. And then I need to add the stem. And then I'm gonna put ore on it. So lots of layering here. Okay, just a few seconds with this. I just did like 4 seconds. I'm gonna see if that's stuck. I just wanna have it where it's tacked down just enough. Okay, and then I'm gonna add my stem. Okay, so I have it all layered up there and I'm gonna do my heat press. Okay, here we go. And that's where I like the Teflon sheet because then it protects all the rest of the material that's already been pressed. Okay, here we go. This will be our final press on that side, so this whole side will be done. Okay, this should be a nice finished project. Okay, so here's this side. Got my glow in the dark is the white, and then the glitter HTV. So we'll check this out later in the dark and see how it glows up. But now I want to flip it over and do the other side for the sublimation part. I'm just going to tack down the glow in the dark. I'm going to do it on a lower setting, and then for sublimation I'm going to have to pop that heat up just a little bit. So I hope this will all work out nicely. Okay, so I'm going to do a little pre-press. I'm going to throw a Teflon sheet on here. Okay, so now I'm going to line up my circle on my bag to my best ability. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. This is the glow in the dark HTV. Putting that down as my base. This is going to be a lower temp, and then I have to bump it up a little bit to get that sublimation on top. So there will be some shrinking possibly going on with my HTV glow in the dark. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, so just enough to tack this down, just a few seconds. And here's my sublimation print. I'm so excited. I hope this really works. So I've got Trick or Treat on one side and then this little jack-o'-lantern with the candy coming out. I thought that was really cute. Now when you use sublimation, you have to use a sublimation paper, sublimation printer with sublimation ink. And it's gonna look more faded, and then when you actually apply heat to the design, the colors are gonna be more vibrant. So here's the before. So my temperature, I'm going to do about 395, and I have it set at 40 seconds. I'm going to get my sublimation design kind of lined up right in the middle of the circle. I feel like I want to use heat-resistant tape to tape this down, but at the same time I fear that the tape will, on the glow in the dark, then leave lines. So I'm hoping, because this is a press that just presses straight down, that it's not gonna move my material and slide it around. I don't know, what do you guys think? Should I put tape down? You know what, I think I'm just gonna at least put like maybe one or two little tiny pieces. And this time, instead of using the Teflon sheet, I want to actually use some butcher paper. This is gonna protect my heat press plate from getting any sublimation ink, and I'm not worried about the underneath part. Normally I would stick something in between my layers so that the sublimation ink doesn't seep through. However, I'm doing this on top of HTV, so I'm not going to worry about anything underneath. Push my drawer in here and hit press. Fingers crossed that this works. So this is a cotton bag, so I wouldn't be able to sublimate on it. You have to have at least, I would say at least 90% polyester. The higher polyester content, the better your results are going to be with any sublimation project. So this is 100% cotton bag though, and no sublimation on, you know, dark colors like this. So I'm hoping this turns out. I'm really excited, and I'm also excited to see what all of this is going to look like for the glow in the dark effect. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit for a minute, let it cool off. So if you can see, while this is cooling off, I'm just going to show you where I was worried about putting any tape. You can see right there where I had the tape. So here's what it looks like. the after. Here's the one side, trick or treat. And then we've got our little jack-o'-lantern. And we will see how this turned out in the dark. Because I had to do the higher heat press to try to get this to sublimate, you can see where you can see through to the fabric. Where on the other side, the same material is nice and bright still, and you can't like see the black through the lettering. So that higher heat to do the sublimation on this particular glow-in-the-dark heat transfer vinyl is something I'm going to have to do a little bit more experimenting, but I mean, I still would call this a success. I mean, it did work, it did sublimate. It's not as vibrant as I would have liked, but it worked, and I am excited to see what it looks like when it glows. Okay, let's move on to the next project. It's the glow-in-the-dark vinyl, so I want to do a lower setting. I'm going to actually do 300 for 15 seconds. Okay, so now I'm going to do a cute little pot holder, and I just want to lint roll this up real good. I did lint roll it before, and I purchased this from the dollar store, so of course you're gonna, you know, get what you pay for. Sometimes with your blanks at the dollar store, I really lint rolled and lint rolled and lint rolled, and it still has a lot of fibers and whatnot on there. No, this isn't a high quality blank, but I thought it would be something fun and cute to give it a whirl. So I'm gonna add a little saying that says pumpkin spice. And I'm gonna have to do 2 quick presses on this because it's gonna be layered over like this for the image. So I've got my pumpkin laid on there. I'm gonna throw a Teflon sheet on top and just do a few seconds for a press. Oh, I just realized that it's still at the super hot temperature. So let me take that off. It's still trying to bring that temperature back down. So it's possible this is completely down and tacked down with that hot temperature. Let me just let it cool for a second. Okay, so there's my little spice word underneath. I'm gonna throw that Teflon sheet back on. And we are almost down to our 300 degrees for 15 seconds. How cute is that? And then it's gonna glow up. So stay tuned, we'll check out all the glow for all of our projects at the end of the video. Super cute. Okay, next project. I'm gonna do a little baby hat. And again, I picked this up from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just gonna do a little lint roll here. So I'm just gonna do a quick little press on here. Just for like maybe 5 seconds. And again, you can hit any button. I keep hitting this button, but you can hit any button and it'll lift up. It's a nice emergency safety feature. Okay, that looks really nice and flat. And I'm gonna put this cute little baby pumpkin on there. That's gonna be our little design on our hat. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. Okay, so there he is. And I'm just gonna throw that Teflon sheet back on. And the temperature setting for actually the glow in dark is more around 280, so I'm not gonna do as much of time. I'm gonna call that good. And we're gonna let that cool off. And on to our next. Isn't that gonna be so sweet for a little one for Halloween? And these, you can pick them up at the Dollar Tree, these little baby hats, or yeah, the Dollar Tree. The $1.25 tree is what we are often referring it to as now that the prices have gone up a little bit. Okay. And make sure you follow the directions. If you have an easy press or something like that, you're gonna want to make sure you follow the settings that are in the instructions. I'm gonna do one more hat. This is a knit cap, and then I have another project that's gonna not be a hat, so stay tuned. This is just a little knit cap, and it's actually like nice. It's got fleece on the inside. So I'm gonna lint roll this to the best of my ability, although these caps are infamous for just always having and carrying lint. And then the face that I'm gonna put on there is like kind of like a reverse ghost. So normally you'd have a white ghost with the black eyes. Instead, we're gonna have a black hat with a white glow in the dark. It'll turn like greenish glow in the dark color when it glows up, so it's kind of the little ghost face. Reminds me of the movie Scream. Okay, so I'm just kind of centering that on the hat. And again, I picked this hat up at the Dollar Tree. Just kind of eyeballing it there. And I'm going to throw this Teflon over, and we are going to do almost a full press on this. Oh, and I didn't do a preheat press on there. I really like to do a pre-press, but I missed it on this one, but it's okay. We'll have to see about the stretchiness too, because I feel like the knit caps, you know, are stretchy, and you usually would want to use more of like a sport flex on something that's going to stretch, but we'll see how it works. Okay, another project. Stay tuned. I picked up these cute little earmuffs that you can wear like around the side of your head. They're super cute, super convenient, super nice. I have lint rolled them, but I'm going to do another lint roll. And I am not going to be using my heat press with this. I'm going to be using my little mini press. So I'm going to shut that down. Okay, so I'm going to use my mini heat press. I'm going to push the button on 2 times. So we've got our medium heat there. And that'll warm up pretty quickly. You have some layering going on here. I'm gonna have 3 little pumpkins layered on top of each other, and then on top of them they're gonna have a nice little glow in the dark face. So I'm going to kind of do these like down the side as if somebody's wearing the earmuffs like this. Okay, so the heat press is already ready, which actually I'm just going to do a little warm up there. Okay, I'm going to do my first little pumpkin, and I just want to trim these and just see about where they're going to line up, because I don't want to have them, I don't want to run out of room. So that's going to go like that, and that's going to go like that. Super stinking cute. Okay, I think that's perfect. I'm going to put my Teflon sheet over, and I'm just going to heat this up for about 20 seconds. I'm just kind of counting in my head. You can do a timer on your phone. Okay. And this is warm peel, so I'm just gonna let that kind of cool off for a second. Ooh, that's still very hot. Okay, let's see if it's ready to be peeled off. Perfect. Okay. And now I'm going to put my next little layer on there. You just kind of have to follow where the pumpkins line up. And then we're gonna finish it off with these little glow-in-the-dark MerryMade HTV. So we've got MerryMade glitter HTV and we've got MerryMade glow-in-the-dark HTV. Okay, now we just want to line up the faces on here and our little pumpkins. Make sure the faces are nice and lined up. I think that looks pretty good. And I'm going to put the MerryMade Teflon sheet. That's another thing. I received the Teflon sheet, from MerryMade as well. And I'm just gonna press for about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm just gonna let that cool. I can see a little bit of glue on the bottom there where I had pressed and maybe pushed up a little bit inadvertently. So that's user error. I'll do better when I do the other side. I think I might pop this down a setting. So I'm gonna put it at 1 instead of 2 bars on the mini heat press. I'm thinking that that second bar might be just a little too hot. Which actually no, I'm about to do glitter, so we'll go back to the 2, but then when I do the glow-in-the-dark layer, I'm gonna pop it down a notch. So there's our first side. Let's flip it around and do the other side. I think that's going to be a good press. Not as high of temperature. And I didn't get any of that glue smushing. So if you're going to use your mini heat press and you do the glow in the dark, do setting 1 instead of, there's 2 or 3 lights you can choose from, so low, medium, and high temp. You want to do the low temp or setting 1 or just 1 line on your mini. You can always go back and do a little extra pressing if needed, but when you have that over press and that glue kind of eases out, you can't really undo that. So. Okay, let's see. Well, no, I need to be patient. I need to just let it cool off a second. I actually did pretty good as far as like being equal on both sides, so I'm proud of myself for that. I've never worked with these earmuff blanks before, so did pretty good. Got myself a pat on the back for that. And these are perfect, like we're a sports family. We go and watch football games and things like that outside, so these are gonna be nice. Okay. Looks good. Obviously it's not as smushed as the other side. I think I might just throw that Teflon on and just do like 2 more seconds. 1, 2. I definitely don't want to overpress it. Oh yeah, that feels better. You can actually like run your hand over and feel that vinyl or HTV has kind of smushed in, and you don't feel it like a piece of paper sticking out when you rub over it. It's kind of how it feels to me when you rub over HTV that's not quite adhered to the fabric. It kind of feels like a piece of paper wanting to flip up or turn a page. So there's our final project for the earmuffs. Now stay tuned and we're gonna see what they look like when they all glow up. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, check out another one of my videos.